In 1983, when I first came out from NBC Chicago, thanks to Randy Baumgartner, a lot of people, Chuck Morgan, Jim Smith, I was not only allowed to be talent and management and run departments at NBC O&O broadcast facility, I was also allowed to consult the chain and fly to all the NBC stations and install program scheduling, research departments, and statistical and other information that I had worked on with Andy Economos and RCS. I had worked with people at MTV, Steve Casey, NBC as a network, and consulted in radio and television at the network. And even worked on undercover news stories for NBC Nightly News, some which even aired a year or two later after I had left the network and was at ABC in Dallas and here in Los Angeles after I had moved here. Stories that I had worked on at NBC in Chicago for Nightly News started airing. I was used for undercover investigations, for technology, for management, for consulting. I was kind of like that blessed golden hair fiction guy, and to my knowledge, one of the few people in network history who has been able to run network broadcast facilities, has talent and management while consulting networks, O&O properties and affiliates, and having outside syndications and ventures. I had that at every network I worked at, ABC, NBC, CBS, at studios, Kurt Kelly, Entertainment, my various private entities over the years have always had full rights to syndicate and distribute worldwide, even where I'm working for networks. It's a blessing to work at a network. It's a greater blessing when you're allowed to do multiple things. But when you're allowed to consult, be talent, management, outside syndication company, producer, director, and anything else you can envision, it's not braggadocio. My IMDb credits pale in comparison, or LinkedIn, or things you can find, pale in comparison to true credits in philanthropic endeavors, humanitarian interests worldwide, private entities I own and have owned for literally decades. One of my 6 companies at the time in 1999, per the U.S. government and others, was valued at $10 billion when I was doing a public offering and got boned by some other big companies, which we won't get into right now, which will be revealed. And you can find traces of it on the internet. And was projected to be worth in trillions within 18 months of me going public. It was intentionally sabotaged by other competitors in network and technology space back in 1999 in federal court. So I went from a $10 billion private entity doing a $50 million public offering with Merrill Lynch. Oh, thank you, Cellini, you pricks. And refused offers from Microsoft, Incubate, and other major companies, ABC or whatever, because my audio, video library, and exclusive collections of producing concerts, in studio interviews, working with rock bands, etc., hard news worldwide, and other original audio videotapes with presidents, senators, foreign country leaders, people I had worked with in '99, that my company was appraised at over $10 billion and I was only taking a fraction of it public, 50 million, to retain controlling shares. Not because I'm a control freak, I'm a perfectionist, and I didn't want to have to answer to a board of directors that others would want to appoint for me to help me run my businesses. Obviously, if one of my 6 companies alone was worth $10 billion then, in 99, 20 years ago, kind of a public record, and I ended up having to take multi-million-dollar losses on that company, thanks to a deceitful divorce to someone very up to high-level government and Int'l family, from Lockheed Marietta, DOD, Crypto Read and Burn, Neitzel from hell, or my first marriage into the White House on the Reagan Bush administration, into the Baker clan. My marriages have been very high level and very politically motivated. Not by choice, by birthright, by dumb luck, by many other things. It's been a ride from hell and back, to say the least. A ride from hell and back, to say the least. But the good news is, I haven't taken orders from any company, and I know a lot of them don't like it, or federal agency or anything, that I didn't want to indulge in, unless, of course, there were repercussions or veiled threats made by, Department of Justice, FBI, or others, because I knew too much, and I would have to cooperate, or I could be perceived as withholding, criminally obstructing, tampering in federal investigations, and about 7 charges, thanks to add much more, you prick. Glad they fire you at the FBI because you're such an asshole. And other terrorist stuff you put me through to get what you guys wanted, while you boned me to also get what you wanted, which was my technology, my intel, my global assets, etc. Is there a little bittersweet about it? A shit ton. I have done more for this country, per the State Department, than most people alive. In fact, per several administrations, have been privately decorated as one of the top patriots in American history. Then 50 cents will still get me fucking killed. Not an honor you need to claim. Especially when you're doing diplomatic services under multiple identities, being sent into CIA drug wars. At 19, guys, what the fuck were you thinking? You didn't think I'd be pissed? And I came back and stopped a war in Central America 5 years later at ABC in Los Angeles with Rock for the Americas with UNICEF. I have done more for humanitarian rights than most people I know on the planet. Again, not looking for an award. Looking for the sheeple to wake up. Stop listening to bullshit religion, bullshit government, and a lot of people who want to control your thinking. Google it. You're in Extinction 7. Akashic Records, all time, from infinity to infinity, parallel. Beginning, middle, end. There's so many clues I put out there for intelligent thinking people. Sadly, most are afraid to even talk about, for fear of the consequences. And being a third-generation Kennedy, I know how my country deals with people who get too honest. Ask JFK. Ask his brother. Or his son. That plane crash was not an accident. Was it, Hillary? Isn't that why you called Georgie Porgy and said, hey, got a problem, guys? JFK Jr. is going to announce he's running for Senate. It'll wipe me out and mess up our plans. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I call it the Clintons? Listen. Google top Illuminati officials. Google Georgia Guidestones. Google the real Jason Bourne. Google my name with any domestic or federal government and just see what comes up. Some of it you'll find, some of it I've declassified under FOI, FOP, FOS, FWPA, and go fuck yourself. There's only so long I can handle bullshit as a federal, domestic, or international humanitarian or contractor, and at some point I stop swallowing for everybody. So, for Tuka and Chew, Putin puppets, and everybody else who wants to play jackass and do World War III, be on record. Uncle Kurt's pissed, and he ain't taking prisoners. And an Extinction 7, boys and girls, for the Georgia Guidestones. You guys think you're cutting it down to 200 to 500 million? Dream on. There's a fly in the machine. So you might want to push that date back of 9/19/19 for genocide of 7.3 billion people, or run the risk that you'll wipe out all life on this planet, seal this as the dark abyss, and rat fuck everybody in the universe. How's that for candid honesty? I know it's tough to swallow, isn't it, bitches? But it's the truth. Look up Illuminati plans. Look up Georgia Guidestones. Look up CERN. The list is long. Look up HARP. Look up hashtag the FENIX, FENIX. Isn't it ironic that my world headquarters offices in Los Angeles has been based at that building since the 80s? And for those of you who don't know what that building is, that is the federal building on Wilshire and Veteran. 11,000 Wilshire. Kurt Kelly's home address and work address for 4 decades. It's also now on Gailey by UCLA. It's also at a P.O. Box, 241971. All of them dead end there, or somewhere else here in Westwood where I've been picking up mail since the early 80s. There's no mistake, I've been living in a box for most of my life. I've been stalked. I have had massive death threats over stories I've covered. Victim of many violent crimes. I've been incarcerated in federal prisons internationally for telling the truth about my government or trying to get certain footage out of certain countries like Mexico or others. And have even been dumped into jails, prisons, and institutions here, working with federal agencies to help them gather intel or other deviant needs that they've needed, not I needed. So whatever criminal records you can find, 99% all falsified bullshit, inflated horse shit, and I'm the guy who can change hair color, change eye color, and change height. In recent reports I've seen, I'm also 5'9". No, I'm 6 foot, assholes. I have brown eyes. No, they're blue, hazel blue. I have black hair. No, it's salt and pepper blonde. It's never been fucking black. I've never even dyed it black for a television or something. My weight can fluctuate hundreds of pounds, and my birth date can vary, and my addresses are all over the fucking planet. When I look at my CJIS file, which I have, criminal justice information through DOJ, through other intel sources I have around the world, through people in our 18 intelligence organizations plus here in the U.S. that you know about, and others you don't. They've built an amazing background on me. I have so many identities, I could be one of 50 people and legally get away with it. Go figure. So just think, Mr. Criminal Asshole, disruptive piece of shit. The next piece of shit you send to mess with me could be going home in a body bag. It's called self-defense. I'm putting my foot down. I'm tired of jackasses, snitches, bitches, witches, criminals with badges, dickheads, scumbags, lying motherfuckers, and a bunch of other assholes in government who make laws and then don't even follow their own laws. If I did half the shit you assholes do in Congress and the Senate, it would be called RICO. It's a federal violation. I'd be going to prison. But you call it junkets, campaign contributions, donations, and don't pay taxes. Oh, and how about that $9 trillion plus a year you guys make in your hidden backdoor interest from all the jobs you exported? While you're trying to overthrow slowly to one world order, and 14 allied nations are backing CIA and all the black ops stuff with Taliban, ISIS, ISIL, and all the other stuff. Oh, did I say the truth? Let me just say this about that. I don't care who your God is, who your government is. You should be caring about your long-term infinity. Because you jackasses, with all your good intentions, did you know the highway to hell is paved for good intentions? Oh, and hell is also an army base, U.S. Army base, where we throw people up in the Arctic to freeze their nutsacks off. And if hell freezes over, they'll get out, but otherwise those jackasses are never getting out. Probably where Donald Trump and a lot of people on Capitol Hill should go. My professional opinion, if you give a shit, and if you don't, I really don't give a place. Because from now to the end of time, every one of you jackasses who have fucked with Uncle Kurt is going to have your day in hell. I guarantee it. You can motherfucking bank on it, bitches.